why you can't duplicate it.
When Dan Shaw imagines it, it happens. Like this 2-ton hydraulic garage door he built that reveals an airplane hangar he transformed into a hidden downtown called Danville.
This one has the theater.
This grown-up getaway playground in Geneva houses Dan's dreams. He turned into thriving vacation spots scattered throughout his 25-acre property.
Motorcycles hanging, airplanes and cars out in the garage.
Like this unassuming man cave, covered from top to bottom with lost pop culture and Americana.
That's an engine they used to drop in Vietnam.
Dan started this for fun before he was convinced by friends to post his first listing on Airbnb.
And I said, who would want to rent my man cave?
The answer? A lot of people.
All European guests will stay here. Foreign guests will stay here.
Because it's Americana.
Americana.
Each space is up for rent, with people picking to match their personalities. Want a little touch of the outdoors? Use Dan's yurt to sleep under the stars, from the comfort of air conditioning and Wi-Fi. And oh yeah, there's alpacas too.
They're here just because they're cute.
Tree houses for fun, for play, and in Dan's world, another place to stay. Need a hot tub? Only Dan makes one with a DC-10 jet engine.
It's fluid and it depends on what I have. It depends on what I found or what my son found that day as to what we use. And I said, oh, we could use that for this. And it goes in. That's how it works. No, that's why you can't duplicate it. Because I wouldn't have any idea where you would find the things that I put in it.
This mayor of Danville is a lifelong inventor. This shrine to his success shows his old life as a plumbing contractor.
Yeah, I had 23 patents there on the wall.
You know his work. It's this, and this.
We were way, way ahead of our time.
Shaw isn't slowing down.
What do we do with railroad ties?
He's always moving and always working.
Come on!
To find new ways to wow his guests.
The Airstream will be in the middle, and then it may say Dan Am on the side of the... I can't use Pan Am because they'll sue me.
Dan Am is one of 4 new places to stay coming soon.
But some of these projects are just too fun not to do.
Vintage Volkswagens will be refurbished and restored to their Woodstock glory for guests.
I want to put lasers up in it.
Dan also has his eye on building a floating Airstream and finishing up this 19th century-inspired Florida bungalow.
What do you think, Sal?
Like any mayor, Dan has his hand in just about everything that goes on here.
We're going to try to give him a bath.
As he constantly thinks of new ways to bring the excitement to this quiet countryside he calls Danville.
What a great way to end a career, you know? I meet some of the most interesting people from all over the world.
In Seminole County.
Good idea.
Clay Lepard, Getting Results, News 6.
I'm a pink kind of guy.
Green.
Purple, always.
Green.
They're designed to shield you from the elements of Mother Nature. But it's what Mother Nature did and left behind that prompted these bright colors to fill the streets of Old San Juan.
Look at the smiles. That's magical. People were coming because there was something that they could reach out to, that they could cling to and say, you know, mira para allá, there's something over there.
Walk out of Paul Kelly's art shop and you're met with this sight. Not just a place for your next Instagram picture, but a symbol of how Puerto Ricans want to see their home bounce back.
You see them walk by and just take a breath as if like, okay, that this allowed us to just bring it all in, and you know we're not there yet, but we're going to be there, and it's okay to feel that again.
We lost our color, but it was momentaneous. We're resilient people.
After Maria, black and white Puerto Rican flags began to pop up, a sign of protest for some. For others, a sign the storm stripped away the beauty of the island. A year later, despite the continuous challenges, the colors are coming back.
I think they're beautiful, and I think they represent the beautiful of Puerto Rico.
We have an enormous heart, and we definitely need you guys to visit us. So we're here with our arms wide open.
February 14th, 2018, Valentine's Day. For much of the day at Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, the sound of laughter and affectionate chatter filled the halls. Students were excited, many planning their after-school get-togethers and dates. After all, this was a day about special friendships and love. And that's how it was, until it wasn't.
911, what is your emergency?
A day that began with such hope and promise ended in tragedy and tears.
Stillman Douglas High School is being shot up. Is being shot up? Are you at the school?
My son is in Stillman Douglas High School. He said he heard noises and talks, and he thinks there's a shooting going on at the school.
I love you. I love you. It's going to be fine. Can you hide somewhere? Can you play dead?
I think we got shots fired. Possible shots fired. 1200 building.
If he shoots, stay dead.
Halls once filled with anticipation were now filled with the choking smell of smoke, not from fire, but from the fury of an AR-15 rifle. Police say Nicholas Cruz, a former student well known at Stoneman for his troubled past, had no love in his heart that day when he entered Building 12 on campus. 14 students and 3 faculty members were killed. 17 others were wounded.
I freaked out. I figured it wasn't a drill.
We met Margie Starnes at Metro Diner just outside of Parkland last week. She had 2 daughters at Stoneman that day, one a sophomore, the other a senior. They were reunited hours after the shooting. 1 year later, Starnes still gets choked up when thinking about the parents who will never see their kids again.
It's every parent's worst nightmare. Mine were okay, and their closest friends and family were okay. But it affected everyone.
The shooting has left a lasting impact on this community, and a year later, there are reminders everywhere, including on campus. A memorial sits out front. The fence is covered with banners showing signs of support. And there is the building where it happened. Classes are no longer held in the 3-story building. It is a crime scene, protected at all times now by deputies. And while hearts in this friendly community are still hurting and healing, there is hope on the horizon. Hope lawmakers will listen to the young voices emerging from this tragedy so something like this will never happen again.
Business is good for Brian Roger and his shutter company, but it came at a price.
Maria was something nobody was prepared for.
We caught up with him on the island of Yerkes Saturday. This home, now being outfitted with electric shutters, was on a 4-month waiting list. That list is easily 6 months for others.
We're working over 12 hours a day to catch up and to be able to do every commitment we have.
Roger and his team cover a large part of Puerto Rico, allowing him to see for himself the damage that has been and remains.
Things have gotten, to a fast reconstruction. Everything sort of feels better. Like I said, it feels like it was such a long time ago, but that happened basically the other day. There's still a lot of communities that have no electricity, that have very little water.
When asked how the island is a year later, the answer seems to be familiar no matter what part of the island you're on.
We're still getting on our feet to be where we were, which is going to take a long time because this took us like 10, 15 years back to where, from where we were. Even if a category 1 hits here, it's going to be disaster all over.
Arson investigators have been here throughout the day going through these charred pieces, trying to find whatever answers they can to determine what exactly caused this fire. Now, in the meantime, neighbors, volunteers, even complete strangers have dropped off whatever they can to try to help. Animals at the Second Chance Wildlife Sanctuary walked around what's left of their grounds. This morning, flames took over the home that sits on the property. The owner, Jim Bronzo, woke up thanks to his peacocks. He was able to save some of the animals, but as of tonight, 41 have died in the fire.
And now, these animals, you can tell they're just like, what do we do now?
Bronzo's friend, Sharon Huggins, was among a number of people dropping off donations.
I saw this one duck on TV that had just, burnt feathers and smudge all over him, and I thought, well, let's at least give him the bath.
The sanctuary houses animals that can no longer survive in the wild. For the past 2 years, he says his neighbor has taken issue with the noise, sounding alarms in an effort to scare the animals. He brought this to county commissioners' attention in a meeting last week. Tonight, there's no word on what exactly caused the fire, but a representative with the state's Investigative and Forensic Services Unit says there's no immediate evidence pointing to arson.
Everything's gone.
As investigators continue with their work, volunteers and friends of Bronzo were in and out of the sanctuary throughout the day, helping get animals like these llamas back behind the gates and plan for what's next. Bronzo didn't want to go on camera, but he did say he believes that this may have just been a freak accident. He says he's heartbroken, but the response from not only strangers, but neighbors and volunteers, he says, is overwhelming. Now, if you would like to help, we have put all of that information for you on our website. Just head on over to clickorlando.com. In Orange County tonight, Vanessa Ariza, Getting Results, News 6.
Right now, we're still so early in the process that we're going.
You're like in survival mode still.
We are. We're still,
7 months later.
Right, going, man, how do we get through this?
Bay County School Board Chairman Steve Moss takes us back to Springfield Elementary School, which we visited with him days after Hurricane Michael. Today, the debris is gone, but damage is still here. Exposed roofs, now rusted. One of the 3 schools officials made the tough decision to close down.
There were a lot of students 4, 5, 6-year-olds, crying, saying, please don't close my school, please don't close my school. And we had board members going, oh my goodness.
Other schools, like nearby Everett Middle, moved into the high school down the street. And across town at Bay High School, students walk past piles of debris and into portables for class. But Moss says this was the only way for the schools to survive. Bay County lost 20% of its student population, and nearly 300 employees are gone.
Almost every apartment complex in Bay County was condemned or destroyed. All the Section 8 government housing condemned and destroyed. So a lot of our employees and a lot of our students simply left, not because they necessarily wanted to leave Bay County. There's no place for them to live.
So with no place to live, there are also no employees. Many businesses, from this radiology center to this Metro PCS store, nowhere near close to reopening.
Almost every restaurant in Bay County, every car dealership, every type of hotel has a sign that says help wanted, now hiring. The problem is they can't find anybody to hire because there's no place for those folks to live.
Even the Red Cross still destroyed. Its sign with an ironic reminder that hurricane season is here again.
If you drive around in the community, there's parts of it that looks exactly like it looked the day after. But hopefully, as time goes and we make progress and it's baby steps, eventually we kind of go, all right, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
The Arecibo Observatory is 900 tons strong, but that didn't stop Hurricane Maria from wreaking her own piece of havoc here. That said, it opened up just 7 days after the hurricane hit. And now, a partnership with UCF and NASA is helping it move forward.
That excitement that you see when a child sees this for the first place, it kind of reminds you why you're doing what you're doing. So it's important for us.
Francisco Cordova remembers this view from his childhood. Now he has a hand in running it. He was hired 5 months ago through the University of Central Florida. The partnership began after Hurricane Maria.
This is an investment on part of UCF, really. They're really interested in acquiring a site, a unique instrument to be able to bolster their physics departments and their physics research. And this is just one of those opportunities where you see UCF really expanding into different areas.
Besides its beauty, the observatory's significance affects every one of us.
When we have an asteroid that's about to come hit us, then we are the ones that identify it and say, hey, it's not going to come hit us, don't worry about it.
Maria caused $14 million in damage and cut this line feed in half, not to mention damaging dozens of panels below. In the grand scheme of things, Cordova says the damage was minimal and the center was up and running within a week.
By the time I walked in here, we already had about 50 staff members that were cleaning the roads and painting and removing debris and making sure, performing inspections under the dish, testing equipment.
The help went well past the observatory. Because of their helicopter pad, aid was delivered faster in the mountainous area, one that was difficult to get to because of the damage.
We did have over 10 different helicopters from FEMA or other government support agencies that stopped here, dropped supplies. We also have our own water well here, so we distributed over 20,000 gallons of clean, drinkable water to our neighboring community as well.
No one will ever diminish the effect Maria had on the island or the people who call it home. But it did bring a chance for change.
Now we also have the opportunity to really replace some of the damaged instruments with new state-of-the-art technology. So certainly you have to look at the positive in that as well.
In Puerto Rico, Vanessa Ariza, News 6.